All right, Cradle of Filth. Hell awaits.
With special guest singer Ray Garton. That was him screaming there.
that was from all the torture we was giving him. That's what it was. You know.
But yeah, we got Ray Garton, the horror author. He's been around, bestseller since the '80s, and won the Grandmaster Award from at the World Horror Convention back in 2006. And fantastic author. How you doing, Ray?
Thank you. I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, we're doing great.
I'm miserably hot here in Northern California, where you could fry an egg on the ground.
Wow. And we have nothing but nice weather right now. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, here, we're in the Midwest, and it's actually pretty good. It's like 70s, lower 80s, and it's a little humid, but it's been sweet
here right now.
We just thought we'd rub that in a little bit.
Yes. Yeah. Kind of like when you get a paper cut, someone puts some lemon juice on it or something, you know. Just oh, man.
So, Ray, you got a lot of projects going on right now. You've been really busting ass.
Yeah, I've been very busy finishing the new book. Bestial, it's the sequel to Ravenous. It'll be coming out from Leisure Books in April of next year.
Oh, cool. And Ravenous, of course, it came out earlier this year, but it was last April, wasn't it?
Yeah,
something
right.
Like that. So, and now these are werewolf stories, right?
Right. Ravenous was a kind of a traditional werewolf novel, except for the fact that the werewolf curse is not spread through a bite, as it usually is. It's sexually transmitted.
Oh.
And in the new book, I have werewolf babies. I mean, newborn werewolf babies that come out of the womb hungry. And I'm having a lot of fun writing those.
Now, our listeners are probably going to get tired of this, but we've been talking a lot about werewolves here lately. In fact, we had another werewolf author on last week, and because we've got this theory that Bad Slayer here came up with. I guess he saw in a documentary somewhere that timber wolves like to have butt sex with their victims before they eat them.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I didn't either. In fact, I'm not even 100% sure that he was watching a documentary. I think he might have been watching some weird porn. But so we got to wonder, it's like, what if werewolves had butt sex with their victims? And if that was the case, then could you wear a silver butt plug, and maybe they'll leave you alone?
I've been doing research on wolves for both of these books, and that's something I haven't come across. There's plenty of sex in the books, but there's no butt sex that I can remember at the moment. But that's interesting. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm still curious if he's full of shit, because I still haven't found anything. And he's been awful quiet about it too, so maybe he.
Oh, he always brings up that story every freaking time. I'm over here sleeping, is what it is. I'm just not waking up from the. Oh, man.
Who was the last werewolf author that you had on?
That was Stephen Weedell. He's got a werewolf saga series.
Yeah. Okay, I'm familiar with that.
He's a pretty nice guy, a real nice guy, and Ravenous. That sounds really awesome too. So I mean, is it sexually transmitted even if they're wearing a condom and all that? Is it really like one of those real powerful ones, or?
I didn't. I sort of kept condoms out of the picture to make transmission a little easier. So I guess we don't know yet if the condoms help or not.
Well, I would think something like that, though. You know, condoms can only hold back so much, right?
Right.
But
Christian Wright would recommend abstinence under all circumstances with werewolves. So just say no.
Yeah, just to be safe, kids, don't have sex with werewolves.
Yeah.
And don't call him a splatterpunk.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
God, I haven't heard that word in a while.
You don't hear much about splatterpunk anymore these days, it seems like.
No. splatterpunks have, I don't know, they've sort of gone the way of leg warmers.
Mm-hmm.
They were definitely a very brief 80s. It was a brief 80s phenomenon, very brief. In fact, I was in the hotel room when the word was coined, and I think that the movement was over before we left that hotel room.
Yeah, well, ooh. So, hey, which of your, which one of your books that you've wrote so far was the hardest book to write?
Actually, there were a couple of... Nightlife was pretty hard because I was pretty sick at the time. I was in a lot of pain. I had a problem with a hip that pretty much knocked me flat, and I had to go through 3 operations, and I was on a lot of painkillers. And painkillers can be fun,
mm-hmm.
but I don't recommend writing books while you're on them.
I can imagine.
They can distort your perspectives a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
It's like me doing a show on painkillers. It's just crazy.
Like you're doing right now.
Bestial has been pretty hard because I've done it in kind of a short period of time. I think, bar none, the hardest book for me was In a Dark Place, The Story of a True Haunting, because that was just a horrible experience from top to bottom. It was
Really?
allegedly nonfiction, but it was not nonfiction at all. I went to Connecticut and met with Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are kind of famous Ghostbusters. They were peripherally involved in the Amityville case.
That's right, I remember that.
Yeah. And
they were the ones that said that the demons were in the well or something like that?
Right. And this book was about a family that lived in a house that used to be a funeral parlor, and they claimed that it was full of demons. And demons, as it turns out, not unlike Timberwolves, enjoy butt sex.
Awesome.
In all of the Warrens' books, the demons are really into butt sex. They enjoy throwing people over the bathroom sink and having at them.
Wow.
I think the people who are into butt sex are Ed and Lorraine Warren. But
I wonder if they wear butt plugs.
not anymore. Ed's gone. He has gone to that great haunted house in the sky. But
They were kind of getting up there, weren't they?
Yeah. Lorraine's still around. Her and her 3-foot-tall beehive hairdo. She looks like Marge Simpson. Anyway, the whole thing in Connecticut was just a complete fraud. The family could not keep their story straight, the Snedekers, and when I couldn't get my facts to mesh, I went to Ed Warren and said, these people can't keep their story straight. And Ed said, oh, they're crazy. Everybody who comes to us is crazy, or else why would they come to us? He said, just use what you've got, make the rest up, and make it scary. You write scary books. That's why we hired you. And since the book came out, the Snedekers have said that they had no involvement in it, which is not true. I was in their house. I had hours of cassette tapes, recording them talking about their demonic experiences. And now they're having a movie is being made called Haunting in Connecticut with Helen Shaver and I forget who else is in it. It's coming out. It's supposed to come out later this year, I think.
Oh.
And I'm dying to know how much of the movie is based on the book, most of which I made up because they couldn't keep their facts straight. So my agent and I are very interested in seeing how this turns out.
From what I've heard, had similar issues.
I'm sorry, I lost you there for a second.
Yeah, you kind of cut out there. Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, I'm having butt sex. I can't help. No.
The last I heard was... You said from what I've heard? What have you heard?
Well, I was just wondering if with what I heard of Amityville Horror, sounds like there was talk of like a lot of the story got put together over a bunch of wine and this and that.
Oh yeah. Some of the people who were involved came forward and admitted it was all a hoax. It was just a money-making scheme, and that describes everything Ed and Lorraine Warren have ever done. If they're involved in it, you know somebody's out to make money off of a book or a movie. And Ed and Lorraine have made a lot of money off of the lecture circuit, where they go around telling these stories that horror writers have helped them concoct, because they always hire a horror writer to write their books for them. And
because they know how to elaborate better.
Exactly. They want somebody who knows how to make up a scary story, because that's what they want to do. And they show up on the Discovery Channel and the Learning Channel once in a while. The Learning Channel. I've never understood why the Warrens show up on the Learning Channel.
Right. Can't really teach much except how to bullshit, right? Exactly.
And now their nephew, John Zaffis, who was involved in the case that I wrote about, now he's taken, he's followed in their footsteps, and he's in the family business now, and he does the exact same thing. He's got a website, and he's really, I've watched the guy look me right in the eye and tell lies. Just make them up on the spot. It's amazing.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it would be hard to work with anybody that's, it's like, stop bullshitting me, man. I'm trying to get it straight,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't take me long to learn what was going on, and I would have loved to have walked out at that point, but I had already signed the contract to do the book. I was familiar with the Warrens vaguely. I remember reading about their adventures in the Inquirer when I was a kid. I always enjoyed reading those stories. So when my agent presented me with the chance to do this, I thought that would be fun. So I signed on. And then after I found out the whole thing was just bullshit, I found out that it was all a lie. I'd already signed the contract, and it would have been more than I could have handled to get out of it at the time. So I went ahead and did it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's easier just to grit your teeth and go.
Yeah.
Let's play a couple tunes, and we'll talk a little off air, and we'll come back on and talk about websites and all kinds of other stuff, and where to get stuff and do stuff and all that neat stuff. Sound cool?
Yeah.
Oh, a touch of evil. You got to have a touch of evil in you. Everybody's got a little touch of evil in you. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Ray even agrees.
There's no escaping it.
Oh, evil keeps you young.
Yes. But, man, we've been having some wild conversations off air, have we?
Really scary ones, too.
Hey, we've talked to a lot of different writers on here, and I've always asked them, what do you use as when you were in the writing stages of your life? What did you use as inspiration? Did you use things around you, or did you go with your imagination, or how did you do that?
It's a little bit of everything. I use a lot of stuff that's around me. For locations, I usually write about places I know, or I make the place up and make it totally fictional. If I write about houses, it's usually, I think of somebody's house I know, and I'll describe the inside of their house. And there's also a lot of imagination thrown in. It's impossible, I think, for any writer not to take things from their own lives and even be autobiographical to a certain extent. I think the writer is the only person who doesn't realize how autobiographical he's being, because I've had people point out stuff in my work and say, "This happened to you, didn't it?" And I look it over and think to myself, "Well, yeah, I never thought of that, but I guess it did." And it's a sort of subconscious thing, but we all do it. We cannibalize our own lives for our work.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, so a lot of your characters, do they come from real people you meet in life? A lot of personalities, do you get that, or?
Yeah, there are combinations of people. You'll take an aspect of one person, something from another person, combine them into one character. Some characters actually are dead on one person. I mean, I've done that quite a bit. I'm not going to say who, but I've put people I know into my books. In fact, there's one in the book I'm writing right now. One of the characters is someone I know and have known for a long time, and he's in the book. I haven't elaborated or messed with the character at all. I just put him in the book. And that happens once in a while, but most of the time, and I'm working on a book called Dismissed from the Front and Center, which is sort of coming-of-age comedy about my 2 years at a Seventh-day Adventist boarding academy, and there are a lot of real people in that. It's fiction, but I use a lot of real people, and 90% of all the events in the book have happened. They really happened while I was there at that school, that horrible place.
So now I read this one interview of yours called "Really Scary Interview"
hello?
by a friend of yours.
Hello?
Oops. You there?
Yeah, it's breaking up.
Oh.
Can you hear us now?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal. He's really screwing with you. Oh, that's all right. No, I read an interview that was done by a friend of yours, Scott Sandin.
Yes,
it was
my
on
best
the
friend
internet.
in the world.
Yeah, that was good. Now he's talking about some really crazy shit that you did back in school with him. Some really crazy antics. Yeah. And from the sounds of it, I imagine it would put Porky's to shame.
We had to do things like that to keep ourselves sane, and we were leading two lives. There was the us that we showed the faculty, and they loved us. They thought we were good guys. I mean, they just adored us because whenever something horrible happened at the school, it never even entered their mind to think about us. They always thought of the troublemakers, but it was usually us behind it. Yeah, one of my favorite bits was that we hooked up a tape recorder to an oven timer and plugged it into the speakers in the chapel. And during a Friday night service, Seventh-day Adventists celebrate. They observe the Sabbath from sundown Friday to sundown Saturday. And a Friday night service, rock and roll music, loud, pounding rock and roll music, exploded over these huge speakers right in the middle of the service. And everyone panicked. Some of the girls ran out of the chapel screaming, "Demons, demons!" I mean, they really thought the place was possessed or something. The maintenance man went around unplugging everything he could get his hands on, thinking that he could stop this. It went on and on for quite a while before they found out the source of the music, and they never, ever, ever suspected us. Of course,
'cause you're little angels.
No, of course, yeah. I was class president. Scott was student body president, and we could do no wrong, as far as they knew.
Oh man, the ultimate crime, perfect crime.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Now, do you recall what music you were playing? I'm curious now.
I can't remember. Scott would remember. He remembers everything, but I can't remember what it was. And it might not even have been something hard enough for you guys even to play on your show, but for the Adventist group that we were with,
it was enough.
Anything was evil. Anything, my God, the Pina Colada song by Rupert Holmes was sinister. But yeah, it was loud. I remember that. It was very loud. I mean, you could feel it in the floor.
Wow. So a lot of people basically have a different perception of what evil is, and their perception was really
to Adventists, everything outside Adventism is bad. Everything.
Wow.
They don't believe in novels, fiction. Their prophet, Ellen G. White, who was later she lived back in the Victorian era, the second half of the 1800s. She has been proven to be a plagiarist and an alcoholic and a real huckster, which is why I don't like hucksters. And she wrote that reading fiction could cause all kinds of illnesses, including physical paralysis. So they didn't approve of me writing fiction, of course.
Oh, no.
Oh. Well, now, before we go to another music break, what are some good websites that people can go to check out your stuff? Do you have anything like that, or?
I have a MySpace page. I really don't have. I have an old website that's out there, but it's years out of date. I'm going to be working on a website within the next few months after I'm done with Bestial. I've got a friend who's going to do that for me, and I'm going to put everything I can on there. Right now, all I've got is the MySpace page. I'm really lousy at self-promotion. I always have been, and I need to remedy that. But let's see. There's I can't think of any websites to recommend. There's Horror Mall carries all my stuff. Amazon carries my stuff. I've got books. Pardon me?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I was going to say Horror Mall is horror-mall.com. Just for people listening, they can go check that out. Yeah.
And I've got books. I'm always putting books of mine on eBay. Hard to find stuff, older stuff, first edition, new, signed, and I've got some up on there right now. But I'm all over the internet. There's just not one particular place where you can go to find me other than the MySpace page.
So probably, best thing to do then, probably go to Google and type in Ray, R-A-Y, and then Garton, which is G-A-R-T-O-N, and then look him up. And yeah, that like he was saying, his books are everywhere. He's been around for a long, long time.
And go to eBay.
And go to eBay and look up Ray Garton, and then get some good deals there.
Yeah, the first one came out in 1984, and I've done 56 of them since then.
Wow. Jesus, that's a lot. And now, is that novels, or is that, or is short stories probably even more?
That's novels, short story collections, and there are some movie novelizations and TV tie-ins in there too. I did a Buffy the Vampire Slayer book. I did a couple of Sabrina the Teenage Witch books, and I novelized a couple of Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I did quite a few.
I actually had those Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've got the Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5 written by you. I think I actually have those.
And I did a lot of young adult stuff under the name Joseph Locke, young adult thrillers and horror novels.
Oh, cool.
I wanted to check that out. I like that.
In fact, I think that Nightmare on Elm Street that I got, it was Joseph Locke.
Yeah, it was. That's the first time I used that name, in fact. I knew it was going to be directed at kids, and I was kind of afraid if kids liked the book, they might go looking for my other Ray Garton stuff, and that stuff's not meant for kids. So I decided to use a pseudonym.
Awesome.
All right. Sounds like a good move. Yeah. But
oh man.
Yeah, I didn't want some kid taking home a book about vampire blowjobs in Times Square and hearing from his mother. So.
And that would be Live Girls, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Live Girls seems to be the one that you're most popular for. That's about vampires in a like a whorehouse kind of thing, or a burlesque show.
Vampires in a peep show in the Times Square of the 80s, which was very different than the Times Square that exists today, which is sort of a family theme park. Back then, it was a red light district, very sleazy, lots of guys in raincoats and nothing else. And I paid a visit to it when I was in New York visiting my editor and my agent, and I was a small town, I'd led a very sheltered life, small town boy, and my editor sent me down there and said, go to a peep show. So I went to a peep show, and it was an eye-opening experience, and Live Girls was born.
Awesome.
And it's now, shooting begins on the Live Girls movie a little later this year in Detroit. 20 years later, it's finally going to be a movie.
Awesome.
Sweet. That is awesome news.
It was optioned many times during those 20 years. One guy wanted to turn it into a Brat Pack reunion movie. Another guy wanted to set it in a Blade Runner-like future. Somebody else wanted to make a rap hip-hop musical out of it. I mean, I got
a rap musical. Oh my God.
Yeah. I got some very creative people optioning the book. Fortunately, all of those ideas fell through. And now they're just shooting the book as it is.
As it's supposed to be. That's a good deal.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Because when you got something that good, don't screw with it, you know?
Yeah, definitely, man. That's awesome. Hey, you was wanting to get a shout-out from him, wasn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Could we get a shout-out?
Sure.
Just say, this is Ray Garton, author of whatever, and then and you're listening to Metal Crypt.
This is Ray Garton, author of Live Girls, The Loveliest Dead, and Ravenous, and you're listening to the Metal Crypt.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that.
Gosh, he's so good.
No problem.
He's awesome. He ought to be a radio talk show guy. He's awesome.
Yeah, that was flawless.
Man, usually I pick on the guests really hard if you've ever listened to the podcast, but I can't pick on you. You're just so rolling with it. I'm digging it. You threw me out of my game. Now I gotta go freaking bash somebody or something. But anyway, hey, that's. You want to say anything before we let you go?
I can't think of anything. Keep an eye out for Bestial in April of 2009.
Hopefully we can have you on again to promote
Sure,
that,
I'd love
too.
to.
Yeah,
Anytime.
we would love to have you back, seriously.
Anytime.
Oh, man, that'd be great. All right.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. I really enjoyed it.
All right, man.
Well, thanks. It's been a great pleasure. You can stick around a little bit. We'll talk to you a little bit off the air.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Here's some really good jams here. This is Jared's favorite band. Isn't it, Jared?
You can't be serious.
I think it's Meat Spin.
So I'm scared now. What you can play?
Here it is.
Working on In a Dark Place, Carmen was running some sort of interstate lottery scam, and she was, I don't think I was supposed to find out about it, but when I did, she kept repeatedly telling me, now, you're not going to put this in the book, are you? And don't tell anybody. She was really concerned about that. And over the years, she had, I don't remember what name she was going by for a while, but she was using the name Campbell for a while, I think, which is the name that's used in the movie, the new movie. And now she's Carmen Reed, and she has a website, and she is selling herself as a spiritual advisor. And the website is carmenreed.com, and it's pretty funny. She on the page that says About Me, she talks about how miserable her life's been and how much tragedy and heartache she's had. And then after whining for several paragraphs, she says, so if you need any help, be sure to call me.
You need any help spending your money? I'll do it.
Yeah, and she's got a couple of she's got links to a couple of other people like her. There's a link to John Zaffis's paranormal organization, and my favorite is the link to Mama somebody or other. She's some sort of psychic, and she's selling psychic readings over the phone for like $80 a pop. And you can buy them and pay for them right on the website.
Jeez. Oh, my gosh. Wow.
H.L. Mencken was right when he said nobody ever went broke underestimating the intelligence of the American public.
So you've gotten a lot of... you've gotten harassed over this a little bit with some of the stuff you put out, haven't you?
Not really. Not harassed. I wouldn't call it that. I've been accused of all kinds of stuff. I've been accused of somehow having some sort of grudge against the Warrens or the Snedekers. And they didn't do anything to me personally. I don't have any personal grudge against them. Uh-huh. But my name was on the cover of that book, and I've been telling this story since 1992, since the book came out. And I've done it just to clear my own conscience, because once I found out what was going on, once I realized what was happening, I was not happy about the fact that the book was being published as nonfiction. So I started telling my story right away, and then when I got online, I plastered it all over the internet. And people have come up with various reasons why I'm lying. I've got a grudge against them. I'm making money telling this story. I haven't made a penny telling this story.
Right.
Now people are saying that I'm upset because I'm not getting any money from the movie. I don't want to be involved. Mm-hmm. I have had my fill of this, and I'm perfectly happy to keep my distance. But
don't blame me.
But once again, it's being sold as a true story, and
wow,
and it's not.
Well, that's the most irritating thing to me. If it was if it was sold off as fiction, I really wouldn't care. I'd probably want to go see it. I like a good ghost story, but when they're trying to tell you that it's a true story, and given the the type of people that the money's going to when they go see see it in the theater and whatnot. It just it kind of sickens me a little bit.
Yeah.
That's just not right. That's crazy.
Well, the way I'm getting this, Ray here is a horror fiction writer.
Yes.
That's what he put it out as. And what kind of new books you got coming up?
Well, April 1, Bestial comes out. That's the sequel to last year's Ravenous. It's a werewolf tale, and it's pretty much picks up where Ravenous leaves off, because Ravenous had ended on kind of a sour, unresolved note, and that story needed to be finished. So that comes out April 1, and there's a subplot involving the Seventh-day Adventist cult, which means that I'll probably get them upset with me again. But so I'm going to lay low after the book comes out.
do you always have people come after you put out a book?
No.
You'll have werewolves coming to sodomize you next.
Oh no!
Well, I came up with a book. Where's Ray Garton? I don't know. He's gone. I don't know. He writes a book and he's gone.
It's a full moon. He's
it's crazy.
No, that doesn't happen. I mean, this is my 57th book, and I've had no problems. I had a little problem with the Seventh-day Adventist when my first book came out, but that was just because they didn't approve of my choice of career. But no, I don't get any attention. I wish I got more attention when my books came out. In fact, this is the timing of the release of the Haunting in Connecticut couldn't be better, because I'm getting all these interviews about In a Dark Place just a couple weeks before Bestial comes out. So it's free publicity. Fine with me.
Yeah, you're gonna pump the new book.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is awesome.
But folks, just so you know, this is not a real werewolf story he's writing, because it is definitely fiction.
Oh man. Oh gosh, that was funny.
But, you know, if they ever wanted to make a movie out of Ravenous and Bestial, that would be kind of funny as a practical joke for the director, just to slap on based on a true event.
Based on a true story.
Let's piss Ray off on this one.
Oh man.
But that's not a lot different from what they're doing right now, really, with Haunting.
Oh, I tell you.
No.
Wow. I tell you what, let's play, since we're talking about werewolves, let's play Bark at the Moon, and then maybe one more, and then we'll come back and shoot some more.
Okay.
What do you think? I love it.
Sounds good.
All right, here it is, Bark at the Moon. Turn it up, crank it out, rock it out, make it metal, make it heavy. All right, we're back. What a death trip that was.
Yeah, we got Ray Garton here with us.
And?
I'm sorry, you broke up again. I couldn't hear you.
He just totally broke up. He was there, and it was like nothing.
Is Jared still here?
I don't know. I think he got logged off or something.
I'm back.
No, he's back.
There he is.
I got all excited and hit the mute button on my thingy.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? And
you had another shroom, didn't you? You fucker, you had another one and you didn't share it. See how you are?
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
I need to lay off the shrooms before the show, man. I'm serious. But
go ahead, Jared.
But anyway, yeah, we're talking more about the Haunting in Connecticut. Also on this Fangoria interview, they were talking about how their boy was suffering from cancer or dealing with cancer back then, and well, anyway, I was just curious about your interaction with the boy.
Well, I was allowed to speak to him. I never met him. He was nowhere around when I was there, and I was allowed to speak to him only once on the phone, and that was brief. While I was talking to him, he began to tell me that, and Carmen was very closely monitoring this. He began to tell me that the things he saw in the house all went away once he was medicated. And at that point, Carmen abruptly ended the conversation.
So it sounds like maybe he was having some kind of like a schizophrenic episode or something.
Yeah. And there have been reports that he had mental problems and he had drug problems. I know that they even when I was there, they made references to drugs, but they never went into any detail. They didn't seem to be too eager to discuss that. And there were incidents in the whole story in which I believe it was Carmen's niece, or maybe it was Al's niece, some young female relative who was in the house, had been groped and fondled. And it turned out that it was the boy who had done that. And, and from what I've heard from people who knew them at the time, the boy was removed from the house once that was discovered. Because, and all this happened, this happened in the late 80s. By the time I came along, it had been years ago. Mm-hmm. Because I was there in 91. So it had happened, I think, in 86, 87, 88, something like that. So it was done and over with by the time I got there. And I was never allowed to see the inside of the house, because there were other people living there by the time I got there, and they didn't want to have anything to do with this little dog and pony show. They were not happy at all that people were looking into it. They'd had no problems in the house. Nobody's had any problems in the house, except for the Snedeckers. And the Warrens claim this is because they had a priest perform an exorcism in the house. But, there are a lot of questions about the priests that the Warrens use in their little performances, because the Catholic Church, they have no official affiliation with the Catholic Church, and some of these priests that they use are pretty questionable. Nobody ever sees them, nobody can ever talk to them or find them. They're talked about a lot in the stories that the Warrens tell on the lecture circuit, but nobody really knows who they are. And in that current affair video that you posted, the woman who lived upstairs said that there'd been no priest. So that's what pissed Ed off so much. That's why he stormed away.
And I remember the landlady there was in that old current affair episode, which is at can be found at metalcrypt.wordpress.com. It's a YouTube video that we posted there. But she was even saying that they knew that it was a funeral home prior, because I guess they play it like they weren't told about it.
Yeah.
Being a funeral home. And yeah, boy, they were really pissed. And the real victims here, especially right now, are all the poor people that live in that neighborhood and that house right now. That all just like the people that lived in the Lutz house after the Lutzes moved out.
Right.
They got all these party goers, sight seekers, and everything. Just they can't have peace now because these people are disrupting their
they're
household.
showing up on the front lawn looking for demons or souvenirs.
Maybe looking to be sodomized or something.
Well, the sodomy, that happens in every single Warren case, up to the point that I knew them, at least. Prior to about 1974-75, all of their investigations involved ghosts. There was a ghost, and there was a story behind the ghost, and it was all very entertaining. But after The Exorcist became so wildly successful, and the devil got popular, suddenly everything they investigated was demonic. Everything was a demon infestation, or there was a portal to hell, or and people were being sodomized by demons. Lots of sodomy, which makes you ask questions about the Warrens. But Carmen told me in the video that you have posted, she talks about being sodomized while she's doing the dishes. At one point, she told me that she was sodomized while running out of the house and going down the street trying to get away, that she was actually being sodomized while in the act of running out of the house. And she said this right to my face, looked me right in the eye and said this, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I doing here? And she was adamant about the sodomy. That was discussed at length. Didn't want to talk about the boy's drug problem, but the butt fucking, let's get into that.
I was butt fucked right out of the house.
Yeah.
That damn spirit timber wolfed my ass.
So the rule then, if you got a haunted house, the best thing to do is just wear a butt plug, and you might be all right.
Right.
Butt plug.
And I also like to know that the current affair video, I loved it. I'm glad somebody posted that. We did not put that on YouTube. From the description, the person that put it on YouTube is somebody who has lived in that house and who also no events or anything going on.
That damn Lucky Beer again.
Off of it. What's that?
No, sorry. That sound, it was that damn Lucky Beer again.
Is it beer time? You know, it just boggles the mind how people can look you dead in the eye and tell you such fucking bullshit.
Oh,
yeah, I know. It's amazing. But now she's telling people that she's always had this psychic gift. She's a psychic, she's a spiritual advisor, psychic healer. It depends on which website you read. On her MySpace page, I think she refers to herself as a psychic healer, and on the website, she's a spiritual advisor. And she claims that she's always had this gift. But she didn't have it when I knew her. You know, she was an unemployed housewife running an illegal lottery scam. My story hasn't changed since 1992, but apparently her story is all over the place.
And I'm never going to deny that there's a lot of weird supernatural stuff out there. I'm always fascinated by it myself, but you got to look at it from a skeptic side because there's so much. It's like ghost hunters. You got to debunk it the best you can, and only when you can't find any possible explanation for it scientifically can you say, okay, there's something abnormal going on here. But usually, when you got these spiritual advisors, psychics, whatever they want to call themselves, usually it seems like to me that when you look in their background a little bit, there's some kind of a con, scam, something.
Always.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They usually have a rap sheet.
I don't think that I would want to tell somebody that I was sodomized running down the road. It's just, okay, weird.
Even if you did tell someone you were sodomized, wouldn't you want to be able to tell them by whom? I mean, if there's nobody there and you're running out of the house and you're still being sodomized, something's wrong.
At some point, you want to turn around and see who's sodomizing you.
Right.
Hey, who did that?
I think it's called shit in your pants. I don't Butt plug. Hey, I was just sitting there thinking that I don't think Ray has heard that effect.
I think he played it a lot last time he was here.
Butt plug.
Oh.
What we should do, if we could ever get Carmen on here, we should just play that randomly. Not tell her why. While she's trying to talk.
Not say nothing.
Oh, please.
Butt plug.
You know what? You should have us on together.
Look, I got a brown turtle coming out.
You should have us on together.
Spot.
Well,
You're probably the only guys who would do that if you could talk her into it.
Yeah, someone should spot.
I bet you couldn't.
Of course, then she'd have to be able to defend herself, and defend her story. And if your story doesn't hold any water,
Yeah, water. Yep.
Excuse me. Yeah, Ray, I think the reason, in my personal opinion, I think the reason why you're not getting bothered too much about this is because someone would have to prove you wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do that.
Yeah, no one has really stood up and refuted anything I've said because I don't think they want to get into a discussion about it. Because they don't want any more attention drawn to that than they can possibly avoid.
Right. But now getting back to
millions of dollars with their movie.
That's right. They want to make They want to make money. They don't want to sabotage it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now getting back to Ravenous and Bestial, I know Val was really interested in these books, and and these are werewolves that it gets past lycanthropy getting past like a sexually transmitted disease, not through sodomy, or do you think it would work through sodomy?
Hey, is sodomy like battery? Is it a form of battery? I'm gonna have to play that song.
No,
next.
I don't think battery is included.
Well, I'm gonna have to fucking play that song by Metallica after we get done here talking. But anyway, go ahead, guys. Sorry.
But yeah, the werewolves in these two books are the werewolf virus is a sexually transmitted disease, and rather than having to be bitten by a vampire, you have to have sex with one.
Well, that's a lot more fun.
Oh, yeah.
Until the very, very animal urges come on and it gets brutal.
Yeah, people end up eating things that they normally wouldn't eat in the book because some of them don't even know that they're infected, and they don't understand the cravings that they're having. In the second one, in Bestial, I've noticed that religion is brought up a lot in vampire stories, and it makes sense because when Bram Stoker wrote Dracula, it was sort of it sort of lashed out at the Victorian repression that they were all living with at the time. And sexual repression, one of the main sources of that is religion, so it seems natural that there's a lot of religious iconography in vampire stories, and that the cross is used to repel the vampire, and holy water, and they can't walk on blessed ground, that sort of thing. But I'd never seen any religion used with werewolves. So in Bestial, I threw in some religion, and there's a character who was raised a Seventh-day Adventist. He's a grown man, he's 38 years old, and he's still living with his mother and grandmother. He's never had a girlfriend, never had a relationship with a woman. And this is actually based on someone I know, someone I've known all my life.
Wow.
Who has been ruined. His life has literally been destroyed by the Seventh-day Adventist cult and his family's strict adherence to it.
His name ain't Waldo, is it?
Pardon?
His name ain't Waldo, is it?
No.
Okay.
And I put him in the book, and just as the werewolves go through transformations throughout the book, we begin to see him in a much more slowly, but we begin to see him going through a transformation. He's sort of coming out of this stifling, emotionally retarding life of his, this religiously smothered life. And he's beginning his transformation into an individual. But I just thought it would be interesting to mix werewolves and religion for a change because I'd never seen it done before.
Well, that does sound really cool. Sounds deep, too.
Yeah, I'd like to read that. That's hot.
If it sounds deep, I don't want to disappoint anybody.
No, I like a good deep character, something you can get into.
Oh, yeah,
something that's
definitely.
just not all hack and slash.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are. The biggest challenge I had when writing the book was his name is Bob Behrens, the character, and the challenge was making him believable to people who don't understand the Seventh-day Adventist cult and don't know what kind of life strict Adventists lead. Because I'm afraid that a lot of people are going to look at his character and think that it's over the top, that it's extreme, that it's unrealistic and not believable, but that's not the case at all. He has, like I said, the guy I know lives this way, and he's a direct sort of reproduction of this real life person. And I can say that on here because he's not going to listen to your show. He lives on a different planet. He lives on a different planet from us. Discussions like this don't take place in the world that he lives in.
Oh.
Well, that sounds pretty awesome. And that just comes out in 1 week, April 1st.
Yeah, April 1.
And where did I get this at?
Pardon me?
Where can anybody pick this book up at?
Anywhere the paperbacks are sold, Leisure is pretty well distributed. It's from Leisure Books.
Uh-huh.
It'll be in bookstores. It'll be in some grocery stores and pharmacies, and they get around, those Leisure folks.
So people need to hunt down Bestial in 1 week, and while they're at it, go ahead. Right now you can go out and get Ravenous, and that way maybe you can get it read, and then just in time for the sequel.
I tried to make Bestial as standalone as possible, but I think it helps to have read Ravenous. Because the two really do go together. They're companion pieces.
And before we start wrapping things up, now where can people go and find you on the internet?
I have a MySpace page. I'm on Facebook. I don't have an official website. I know I'm way behind the times, but I just haven't had time to. I'm not capable of doing one myself, and I haven't found someone that I can afford to do it for me.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But I have a MySpace page under the name Ray Garton, and I'm on Facebook, and I'm at the Red Light District message forum on the internet a lot. So you can find me there. It's a message board.
Nice.
Awesome. Definitely check out Ray. He's a real great guy to talk to, and definitely check out his books. He's got tons of books out there. He's most popular, I think, for Live Girls. So if anyone who hasn't read Live Girls needs to check that out too, because that's an experience. I gotta go to the
bookstore. I'll be back later.
Yeah, Val, go on down there and get some.
Live Girls, by the way, the Live Girls, the movie, starts shooting in Detroit later this year.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. And although we'd like to have you on as much as possible, there's yet another reason to bring you on when we can talk about the movie.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's play some Metallica Battery, since we were talking about.
We can picture that song playing while someone's getting sodomized on their way out the house.
Out the house, yeah, by something that ain't there.
Picture the battery, it's full.
That Dan Brown snake, I tell you what. Here it is.